Good evening or afternoon, Gunners. I was actually hoping he was going to spit out whatever he's drinking when I did that.
No.
Yeah.
Sticky. Well, I can't spit it out.
You survived. You're not a spitter, clearly. So, really? Nothing?
Well, I was debating if I want to get into this.
Left him speechless. I absolutely left him speechless.
I was debating if I want to get into my whole philosophy about how I would be the worst gay man. I have the worst gag reflex.
My God.
Like if I get my tongue,
is that it? Is that the end of the conversation, or is there actually more to this?
No, I couldn't. Jeez, anything I put in my mouth, yeah.
Wow,
it's bad,
folks. Sometimes the jokes write themselves. I don't know what to say. We need to regroup. So welcome along to Beards and Cannons. So the worst non-gay man is joining me today. From the ARSE Bros, Ryan, you guys all know who this is. Co-host on Same Old AFC USA. As I like to say, he's my co-defendant. So what's up, man? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just excited for football to come back. I'm getting antsy in my pantsy, and I mean, yeah, I don't want to see us playing bad football. But yeah, at this point, I just want anything I can get my little hands on.
I mean, that's pretty much what I said on my prom night. So just, I'll take anything at this point. So, but yeah, so back from the international break. We get Liverpool on Saturday at 3:00 here on the East Coast. It's a nice little Saturday night football over there across the pond, 8:00 start. You know what's interesting to me is, I mean, you know how over here the NFL, it's all about prime time, right? All about prime time. Let me shout out the Assemble just messaged us. I don't know if Gooner Glenn is still out there or not. But drop us a line, everybody. We got 12 watching right now. Make sure you hit the like button. If you hit the thumbs down button, you got to tell us why. That's the rule. So
that's the rule.
Those are the rules. Those are the rules.
That's the rules.
Those are the rules. Those are the rules. But yeah, drop us a line. Say hi. Tell us where you are. There. Yeah, Gooner Glenn is still here. So now, sorry about that, guys. We had to postpone for about an hour or so. But we are here. We are live. And what I was saying was it's weird because here with the NFL, I mean, almost with every sport here, really, it's all about prime time, isn't it? I mean, all of baseball, hockey, basketball, all play their weeknight or their weekday games are all played at night. Like everything is prime time over here. Yet over there, they hate that. They hate the 8:00 starts. They hate like Monday Night Football or something. Like there's just nothing like that. I don't know, man. I don't know if you've got a thought on it. I don't know. It's just something that I would think that the TV broadcasters, Sky or BT, would jump on and be like, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, let's go. But apparently not. I don't know. Somebody that lives over there, if you're in the comments section, tell me why that is. Why is it that there's that prime time when the sun is down under the lights, that's not a big deal?
I mean, I guess speaking from someone who likes to have a little bit of grandpa's old cough medicine, I want to drink. You get out of a game, it's fucking like 10:00. Yeah, I'm tired. Let's go home. Therefore, you get out of a game. Maybe you'll probably drink throughout the entire game. You'll pregame, and that's the thing too is we forget when we talk about it on our tailgating show. Is that you pregame, you tailgate. They don't have that. They'll have a few beers and then they'll kind of go in. Yeah, right. Yeah, I stay off social media on April Fools just for that very reason. And I almost it's funny. I almost got caught. I saw something real quick and then I realized the day it was. And you would have thought it was funny. Apparently, Julian Edelman went to the Bucks today for a third round pick. I almost for a second.
pick.
For a second, I actually believed it, and then I was like,
my
"Oh, the day."
God.
That's why
I
say on
mean,
social media.
it would have been.
Okay.
It's funny. I'll tell you that. But dude, the
Yeah.
Buccaneers are so fucking loaded at wide receiver right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like when you watch the game, you finish. You don't want the night to just end just right there. You know, you're probably amped up from the game still. You know, if your team won or if your team lost, yeah, let's fucking hang out. Let's go to the bar and we'll drink more and you know, commiserate together. You know, so what's up, Greg? But yeah, I personally enjoy day games more than primetime actually. But not too early. Like they're like, oh, I'm down to go to the game. And I don't. Noon for me, noon's kind of early. You know, if I want to have like a whole day, I mean, I guess maybe not. I don't know. I guess it depends. But I kind of, you know, if I'm going to a match, I kind of want to make it a whole day thing. I kind of want to hang out with my friends, you know, before the game, hang out, you know, during. Oh, you're not really hanging out. You're watching the game, but.
Only two fools here today, Lone Star. Just he and I.
Wait, neither are named April.
Yeah, and neither of us are named April. So what's like the perfect start time then for you?
I don't know.
Well, I will say the one thing the NFL does is the America's Game of the Week is that 4:25 kickoff on Sundays. That's perfect. That's like perfect to get. You get out to the tailgate at about noon. You don't have to wake up crazy early. You get in a good 3 to 3.5 hours of tailgating. Then you go up to the stadium, and and the game's over at 7:30. You still have a good 3-4 hours of drinking to get in.
Yeah, I'm thinking you do like a 2:00 game. So I was probably perfect because you kind of wake up, plan stuff, get things together. You get to the stadium at around like 11:30, 12. Tailgate, play your drinking games, do all that, go to the game. Maybe you'll have a pretzel, maybe some popcorn. And then, you know, after the game, you get dinner. It's like dinner time right as soon as the game's over. So it's like perfect. And then, boom, back on the horse, you know, hanging out with your friends. If you want, or you could have dinner and go home and, you know, do whatever you want to do. But I don't know. Personally, I'm a fan. I guess speaking as an American, I love tailgating. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think that's partially why over here games are a lot later in the day because you know you could theoretically go to the stadium at like 11 a.m., 10 a.m., or even 9 a.m. and just tailgate all day till the game at like 7 o'clock. So it really depends on, you know, what your preference is. I know people want to do a million things in their day. Someone like me, you know, if I'm going to the game, I don't mind spending the whole day, like either, you know, hanging out with people, you know, playing drinking games or, you know, shooting the shit. But yeah, and to be fair too, I'm so invested in a lot of in a lot of the teams that I support that after the, you know, during the game, after the game, my mood, it reflects how the game went. So you know, you kind of got to roll with the punches and just look who it is. What's up?
If he could actually grow facial hair, I'd have him on this show.
Oh man, I saw a few.
Kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm kidding. Mike knows he's welcome on this show anytime. Anytime. I love tailgating. Man, that's a good time. I'd actually rather tailgate, quite frankly. I mean, at least if we're talking like NFL game, I'd rather tailgate than go into the game. Yeah. And then you come out after the game is over. And that's when you eat dinner. You fire the grill back up again. Make dinner, wait for the traffic to die down, have more food, have a few more drinks, and then off you go. So I don't know. It's just kind of back to the point. It's just a weird concept to me that they don't embrace the prime time football. I don't know. I guess maybe like in London, it's just because it's so busy and like, you know, Monday's a work day and everything. You don't want to congest the tube system even more with football goers, you know, people going to the game or whatever, wherever it might be. But I don't know. Mike, I think so. I mean, They sell hair nets for beards. I would think they'd sell beards for chins. Do they sell chins for faces? Do we just
like
keep going?
Like a nice Abraham Lincoln, maybe.
Yeah.
Mike would look weird with it, like an Abraham Lincoln.
Mike, grow the Abraham Lincoln. I got to see what I got to see this now. Now the thoughts in my head. If you hate Penn State football, please hit the like button from Lone Star Londoner. Absolutely. Actually, I'm going to take.
Now you went to Penn State, so I don't know.
What? Oh my God! No, she didn't.
Yeah,
she went to St. John's.
She went to Penn State for I think a semester or two. She
okay. Well, so
to be fair, she didn't like it there, so that's why she left. But yeah,
hey, so she got smart and got the hell out of Dodge. Yeah. Thank God for that.
Fair.
Now I'm going to take a page out of the Highbury Squad's book here. If you don't like Tottenham, hit the like button. I'm still as Sophie, Kev, PG. If you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'm totally bogarting your idea. I'm stealing that. So if you don't like Tottenham, hit the like button, and you know what happens if you don't hit the like button. It means you do like Tottenham. You're just a Tottenham fan in disguise. So, yeah, Sam, the NFL games are far too long. There are far too many breaks. The tailgate would be far. Oh, Sam, that's usually the NFL is tailor-made for TV. That's what it's made for. And their TV ratings and the money that's in the NFL. Sauls and I talked about this last week with the NFL, and everybody wants to bring up Kroenke, and he doesn't spend any money, but look at all the money that he puts into the Rams and blah blah blah. It's not his own money. He doesn't have to put his own money into the Rams. The team itself makes enough money because of the television revenue with the NFL. He doesn't have to put in his own money. That's how much money the NFL generates every year. The owners don't really have to tap into their own pocket. It's nothing more. It just pure profit for the guys with the television money. It really is. So,
and to be fair too, for tailgating, I think I've talked about this, and there's guys that'll go to the tailgate. They don't even go inside to the game. They stay at the tailgate, and they'll prop it. They'll prop a Thanks, Greg, stealing my thunder. Right. They'll put a TV up, and they'll just keep drinking, keep thing, which I think is definitely a lot more fun. Would I pay $20 to park in a parking lot and just watch the game on a TV? Probably not when you break it down like that. But I mean, it just depends what you fancy.
Yeah, I've been over there. I'm trying to think of the different kickoff times. I don't think I've been to anything that kicked off any earlier. No, I'm lying. I've been to a noon kickoff over there. It was the Merseyside Derby. It was Everton, Liverpool at Goodison Park. And that was a noon kickoff. It was strange. Like being down, like getting up that early to go down to the game where there's no real tailgating going on. I don't really remember a whole lot of it. But it was, I don't know. It was weird being there with that there. I mean, they had like some concessions and whatnot open like outside the stadium. So it was all right. I mean, you could get something to eat, you could get a beer. Excuse me, but it wasn't a tailgate. Now, the North London Derby that I was at back in 2018, that was I want to say that was like a 2 or 3 o'clock kickoff. And I remember asking someone, why don't they play this later? This would be this should be like the marquee game of the day. So why isn't this being played at like 4 o'clock? Somebody told me because they don't want the fans getting pissed drunk before then and getting into fights.
That's
when it's Arsenal Tottenham. So so that that makes sense. So I get that. I'll tell you what, I've been to a few 8 o'clock games. They haven't been league games. They've been European games, but I've been to a few of those. And I don't know if it's just because they're Europa League or what, but they're just dead. They're just absolutely dead. Like I was there for Valencia for the home leg against Valencia. What was that? 2 years ago? So yeah 2 years ago, I was there for that. Inside the stadium was actually better. The atmosphere inside the stadium, believe it or not, was better than the atmosphere outside the stadium. There just was nothing going on. So I don't know. But anyway, so bottom line, we're back. We don't need to keep talking about the tailgating thing. That's, it is what it is. So back to football on Saturday. Like I said, 3:00 kickoff here on the East Coast. So no Bukayo Saka, no Emil Smith Rowe. Did you hear anything on Smith Rowe? I mean, Bukayo Saka is just a hamstring thing, and the more I hear about it, the more pissed off I am that Arteta insisted on playing him 2 Sundays ago against West Ham. So I didn't hear anything about ESR. Did you?
No. They say the ESR injury is not that bad. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. But the Saka thing, I feel like he could play for us if we need to. If we need him, which I don't think we do. Well, we do, but it's just tough. Someone like Saka, who's again he's one of our, if not the most important player to our team. You want him to play every game week in, week out, but you also need to know like when you play and when you don't. To me, I think it's a Pepe game. But it's to me it's a Pepe and Saka game. To be fair, I would put Pepe on the left, Saka on the right. But I don't know. It's difficult when we have, and again, I'm not Arteta out, but it's difficult when you have a manager that's really trying to try different things. And I know like he was kind of forced into a change because there was no Willian. Again, we were told ESR wasn't match fit ready. He was right. He could play. We have to try new things. And I think with this team, we have a lot of players that are really good at only one or two systems and styles. You have to kind of adapt to that. I don't know. It's tough. I just wish we could just buy like 25 just world-class players. Not worry about it.
Yeah, right. It bugs me because Saka didn't have to play against West Ham. He just didn't. He didn't have to play. The best thing he could have done was not played there, not played or trained with England during the international break, and just been done. And just take 3 weeks off, kid. Just take 3 weeks off and call it a day. And didn't do that. Arteta, just persisted with playing him. Again, kid needs a break. And this is, now we're paying the price for forcing him in to play in a game where he really didn't need to play. And let's face it, we were more effective without him against West Ham. And that's not a knock on him. He's tired. It is what it is. So,
I think what just is to me, and I keep bringing this up, and it really kind of sucks and kind of it puts a knot or a wrench in the argument or whatever, wrench and knot, screw, whatever. Is he could play bad all game, but he could do what he did against Benfica the second leg, where he has that perfect ball to Aubameyang, which really it could have went to anybody and that was going in. Could have went to Alex Iwobi, who couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat for us inside the 18. Could have hit Alex Iwobi would have scored that. It's just he can produce those bits of magic out of nothing, and that's kind of what he did. So, and we need that, and Arteta needs that, especially we're ninth in the league. We're struggling to hold on. We have Europa League games that are vital. They're super important. And yeah, we have a good matchup. Yeah, we have a good run. We got Slavia Prague, and then potentially we have Villarreal, Unai Emery. Is it Villarreal? We have Unai Emery's team. So think
whoever they played Dynamo Zagreb.
Yeah, I was just gonna say them because I totally forgot who they played. But yeah, regardless, those three teams we should be beating.
We either get Unai Emery if we could beat Slavia Prague. We either get Unai Emery or the team that knocked the scum out of the Europa League. That's how the draw sits.
I mean, it's gonna be very interesting. I think, and I agree with what Hayes. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Saka is a team. He is a team for us in games, but I think he's somebody that, yeah, he holds shape. He knows what he wants to do, and he doesn't complicate the thing. He doesn't complicate things, which I think Arteta likes, because I feel with Arteta's structure, with his tactics, he likes to kind of complicate things a little in what he wants to do, with the inverted fullbacks, inverted midfielders, inverted wingers, whatever. He does a lot of, I don't want to say unorthodox things, but he does a lot of different things, and I think that it kind of puts a hindrance on players like Pepe's, like guys that like to cause chaos, be unpredictable, be mavericks. Also, to an extent, kind of same thing with Guendouzi, who we don't know if he's gonna be in an Arsenal shirt for us anymore. So it's kind of, I like it. I like the fact that he's very structured and he's smart, but then sometimes we've seen games where he's too smart. He tries to outthink himself, and he looks like the doof, or he's too cool for school. And it's going to be tough, because there's going to be I'm not a teacher by any means, but I've coached, but I'm not really I've obviously never been a school teacher, but maybe Greg, who is a teacher, can kind of help me out here if he's still here. When you teach kids, you the smartest teachers can teach and they know what they're talking about, but you're always going to have an asshole kid that's just going to say, I'm the class clown. I'm going to do what I want. I don't care. I'm going to make this fun.
That was you.
Not really. Not really. I talked a lot. I wasn't really a class clown. I was funny when needed, but I don't know if I would identify myself as a class clown. But yeah, you're always going to have, and I think, to be fair too, in Pepe's case, I don't think Pepe is trying to be an asshole kid. He's just someone that doesn't.
He's incredibly instinctive.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Arteta's system doesn't really allow for instinct to take over. It's really, really, really based on high IQ football and intelligence, and he doesn't want instinct taking over. And I think that's where Pepe is going to kind of might unfortunately get lost a little bit, although he's been playing better as of late. Is his lack of football IQ, because he's not the most intelligent footballer, but he's incredibly instinctual.
Yeah, and like I've said, we're not a good team, and we haven't been a good team for a while. And I think in his eyes, he knows that. So he's like, well, I want to win with structure. I want to win like a team. I don't need players falling out of line, doing what they think is best, and being those mavericks, because we're not good enough to do that yet. I think that Pepe, I don't say Pepe needs time, but I think Arteta needs time with Pepe. In that, I think the better we get, which is not really going to make sense, but I think the better we get, the more Pepe plays, because the more Arteta can trust the team, he can allow Pepe to kind of, maybe pull a Vanguard card and be like, okay, Pepe, express yourself. Do what you must, do what you want to do. But that's just going to take time, and it just sucks that we've put this rebuild off for so long. I know people are like, oh, we started to rebuild when we left Highbury. It's like, yes, but as a club, I don't think we saw that. I think as a fan base, we saw it, and as a fan base, that's what we say to each other. It's kind of calm ourselves down and kind of pepper expectations a little bit. But when as the club's concerned, they were just like, oh, we're like 2-3 players away from the title, so let's add, and they add like 1 or 2 players every transfer window. And as we know, during that period of time when we were supposed to be rebuilding, our transfer windows were not good. They were pretty shit. Yeah. So it sucks that it took us this long. And I think to an extent, when we hired Unai Emery, I still don't think the club thought we were in rebuild mode. I think the club was just like, okay, like, yeah, we're rebuilding with a new manager, but we're not in full on rebuild. We're just like, yeah, we'll get a new manager, bet in his ideas. He's the guy that always wins Europa. He'll win us Europa. He'll get us back in the Champions League, and then we'll just figure it out, because we're a big club, and that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna figure it out. But that's not
That
how
right
it works.
to a divine right to shit. That I absolutely can't. Oh, well, we're a big club. We're the Arsenal. We're just going to wake up tomorrow and we're just going to piss gold, and we've seen now that we don't piss brilliance anymore, and if you want to piss brilliance, you got to put in the work to be able to do it. We just don't seem to want to do that on or off the pitch. But yeah, it's couple of I'll be honest, like I'm reading some of the comments here, guys. I like Daniel Shaw, all the eggs in the Europa League. I get the sentiment, but you know what? I'm not ready. I'm just not ready to throw in the towel on European qualification through the league yet. I know it's a long shot, but there is still a shot. And until there isn't, I think I think you have to I think you have to play in the league. I think you have to go and win. Look, at the end of the day, the bottom line, win every game. You want to win every game. I don't think I saw Ricky Bobby here. I wake up in the morning and piss excellence.
If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Ricky Bobby.
Oh, anyway.
I don't like Big Red, so
and Daniel, I like I said, man, I get the point behind it, and you're not wrong. I mean, I would say, I dare say, more people probably agree with you than agree with me. I'm of the mind that we need to be building more than anything else consistency, and that's the thing that has killed us this year is the lack of consistency. You can look back on the poor run of form, when we were losing back in November and December and say, nope, that's why. But it's not why, because if we would have won if we beat West Ham, think about it. We beat West Ham. We beat Wolves. And yeah, okay, the refs kind of screwed us there, but beat Wolves. Bury the chances against Wolves that we had the first half. Referee can't screw us. The absolute dog shit of a performance against Villa when we lost 1-0. Forget the 3-0. We got dominated, run out of the building. Forget that. But at their place, at Villa Park, we lost 1-0. We just didn't turn up. Nothing there. There are 5 or 6 matches since that run in November, December. You can look back on and say we dropped points here. We should have at least drawn or we should have won. I'll even throw Manchester City at home into that group of matches because they didn't play all that well. And we were just like, they scored and we were just like, okay, just keep it at 1. We probably could have drawn them. And if you go back and you look at those games, that's why. And those games all came on the heels of a good win. What'd we do? We go to Leicester. We beat Leicester 3-1. And then what do? We go to Burnley and shit the bed. That's therein lies the problem. So the league games, while the Europa League is, I'll grant you is our best path back into it realistically is the only way back into Champions League, because I just don't think we're going to catch Chelsea at this point. That's the most realistic path back into Champions League. But playing the league games and winning those games, performing well in those games builds consistency and confidence, and we're going to need that. We can't keep taking this 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step back, 3 steps forward. It just can't keep going like this. We have to. What does your shirt say?
What
does your shirt say?
I'm wearing my inner Shikari hoodie. It's a band.
Okay.
England.
Oh, nice. But that's where I'm at with it. I just look, and I'm greedy. I want to win every game. So I know, that's not realistic, but I want to win every game. So
I have a question for you and everybody in the chat. I mean, I'm not. Well, whatever. I'm just gonna ask a question. As stupid as it sounds, I love you, baby.
You're stupid like your father. Sorry, it's a Dane Cook thing.
Yeah, I know. See, I forgot my question. Do you want Europa League next year? Let's say we don't qualify Champions League. Do you want to get into the Europa League competition next year? Yeah. And everybody in the chat too. I'm curious what you guys think.
I mean, I'll tell you exactly why. Again, it's greed.
Money.
No, it's not even the money. No. I mean, me specifically. For me specifically, I just enjoy having something to look. I enjoy having that Thursday game to look forward to. I enjoy having the midweek game to look forward to. Because that makes it sound like I want a game on Thursday. No, I'd much rather a game on Tuesday or Wednesday. But it just gives me one more opportunity to watch, and that's all it is. As much as this team absolutely drives me nuts, I still look forward to the games. I still look forward to the opportunity to watch them play. So I want European football. If it's Europa League, if it's at your European or Europa Conference or whatever, fuck that.
Now you don't want
that. Well, first of all, because the games probably aren't broadcast. So again, I'll keep it right here. The games probably aren't broadcast, so I'm not going to get to watch them anyway. And at that point, it's what are you playing for? You're playing to be the 102nd best team in Europe? The fuck out of here with that. I don't. No. But I want. If I want Champions League or Europa League. That Europa Conference can kiss my ass. But Europa League, yeah, I mean, look, it's a big competition, and when you look at the clubs that win it every year, they're big clubs. There are big clubs that win this competition. Everybody says, "Oh, it's a Farmers League competition, whatever." Yeah, through the group stage, it is. But when you get into these knockout rounds, let's look back over the course of a decade and look at the teams that have won the Europa League. I mean, Sevilla has done it 3 times, and they're not the biggest club, obviously, in Spain, but they're in the top 5, 6 over there. I would say they're part of Spain's big 6. Liverpool have won it. Manchester United have won it. Chelsea have won it. So it's a trophy. It's a big trophy. And this year, we've gotten a pretty favorable draw, I would say. By the end, we'll have earned it if we win it. So I don't want anybody to come out and be like, oh, who'd we beat? Who'd we beat? Who'd we beat? You don't trip, fall, and land on raising a trophy. So, what do you think?
I mean, I go back and forth because, and I hate using this as an example because this team was in a different position, at least rebuilding wise. You look at Chelsea's team; they finished 10th in the league for us. They avoided all the competitions, and the year later, they won. I think they lifted the trophy with Conte. They won the Premier League with Conte. Again, we're in a different situation. I don't expect, if we get no Europa, we're going to win the league next. I know that's not what I'm saying, but when you don't have as many games to worry about, it's better. And I know Hastings said in the chat, you want to get the kids in. You want to play the kids. And I somewhat agree. I think our academy, it's good. I don't think it's terrible. But I'm not as excited about our academy as I used to be. Really, the only person I'm excited about coming out for right now, I know Moeller is someone I want to see. I don't think he's gonna be ready next year. Probably not even the year after. But Aziz is someone I really want to see. Aziz is someone that I wish he could. Yeah, I would want him to play Europa. He's someone that's okay, I want. But again, I think the way Arteta thinks, he doesn't see Europa as a chance to play the kids. He sees Europa as, that's another trophy I could get. That's another kind of notch on my resume that I could kind of get, and in moving this club forward. And it's difficult because when you're a team as big as Arsenal or a club as big as Arsenal, you want trophies, you want to win stuff. You don't want to use competitions to see what the young guys can do and see what you got. You should be already at that state. You should already be on that pedestal as a big club. So really you should be using the competition as just, trophies and, in winning stuff. And yeah, I guess to an extent, if you're Liverpool or Man City in the Europa League, yeah, you're going to play the kids. I get that. But where we are now and rebuilding and getting some kind of structure and form, I think that I think just we need to just win games and just stay focused on the task at hand, and kind of seeing what we have in the academy isn't the way. At least it's not right now. I'm all for the academy. I watch the academy on a regular basis, and I'm constantly spotting those kids. Hashtag chubby for the kids. Big Steve, love you. But yeah, I think it's just we're at that stage as a club where we can't be like, I think I just said this, but I'm going to say it one more time for dramatic effect, but we can't worry about the kids. We have to worry about winning, getting trophies. And yes, Hastings, I know we do have some kids in, we have Taylor Hart, Moeller, I'm excited about. To be honest, I don't think they're ready. And I'm more worried about winning games. I'm more worried about getting trophies, accomplishments, and kind of luring the bigger players in. And then at the very least, we use the academy players as depth. And if they are better than the players we sign, if Moeller is better than Aubameyang in 2 years' time, which we'll probably have Aubameyang in 2 years, and then we're gonna play Moeller. Then granted, we'll probably sign a striker, but that's again another conversation entirely. But I don't want to rely on the youth as much as we've been relying on them. When you become a bigger club, your youth becomes your academy, becomes your bench. Your academy becomes your depth. And if your depth want to compete with the starting 11, if your depth want to compete and be better than the starting 11, then that'll just happen with time. So I think it's just something that we need to kind of get a balance for, but yet again, we're late in the season, so there's no group stage to play the kids anyway. But we're in a rebuild stage where the kids aren't the issue now. It's just we need to get into the Champions League. We need to win trophies. We need to establish a philosophy, a culture, and work from there.
Yeah, the Lone Star said it's 15 games we could do without. I mean, yeah, but the fact is there's money. And if Kroenke isn't going to, well, I hesitate to say if he's not going to dig into his own pocket, because I have no proof that he hasn't. When you look at the money that we've spent over the past 5 to 7 years, the proof is there that we spend money. We just spend it poorly. That's the problem. All this talk that comes back to Stan Kroenke spending money. Look, it's spending money the right way. It's not just about going and buying the most expensive player. It's buying the right player, and we haven't bought the right players. It's just that simple. So I take away just my own personal selfish reasons for wanting Europa League, which is just to get to watch more football. We're not at a place like Chelsea, like Liverpool, where take that year off, regroup, and you come back stronger the follow. That's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And they're going to look at the champions, the lack of Champions League or the lack of funds from European competition. Say, well, okay, but we're not going to put money into the club if you're not achieving the goals that we, set out to achieve. So I want European football. The money does have something to do with it, but it's mostly my own personal selfish reasons. I mean, look, winning is there is no right now, Hastings. Winning is everything all the time. Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby. Just win. And that's the thing. Like, if we win, none of this is talked about. The money, Kroenke, his investment, leaving Highbury, building the Emirates, the atmosphere, all this. It's a non-issue if we're winning. It's just as simple as that. Think back to last summer when we won the FA Cup. Everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. You hardly saw anyone talking about all this negative shit. But when you don't win, this is what happens. Just win. Winning makes everything better. It does. Fact. Standing alone from the UK government. Daniel, a lot of clubs did that. That's not It's there. That's smart business. These guys. One thing. They are smart businessmen, and that's a lot of clubs did that. It was there. It was available. They did it. And end of. That's just smart business on their part. Winning isn't life and death. It is far more important. Far more important than that. But yeah, so I don't. This international break. It's tough to talk football when there's not much to talk about because neither of us watched any of the international stuff.
Well, did you hear the story about Maitland-Niles is set to leave Arsenal this summer?
Okay, I saw all of this today.
That's making the rounds.
See, I saw all of this today. So everything I read today, I'm taking with a grain of salt. If I see it tomorrow, I'll believe it.
Wow. Yeah, sure.
I just right now not believing anything that I hear today because everybody's out there. Oh, did you the one thing? Oh, Edu made contact over Erling Haaland. Okay, sure he did to get his autograph. So Sam, our budget is balanced on sold versus bought. When we buy so poorly, where we need to sell 3 players to buy 1 good player, we will soon be in a bad position. This is why the youth will be so important. And look, the fact of the matter is, I personally would rather develop the youth and build the team that way and win that way than going out and buying all of these players. I just would. That's just me. I just would. I'd much rather be able to look at this team and say, we made this. We developed these players. They're our players. This is our thing, and we're winning with our young players. That's just me. I think there's something really to hang your hat on there. I don't know how anybody else in the chat feels about it, how you feel about it, but I mean, round the squad out with a few good players. But ideally, you want to develop your own, right? Develop your own, turn them into superstars, and fill out the squad here and there with a few, with another world-class player or two that if you can afford it, and off you go, right? What are you looking at?
Nah, my friend sent me something funny on Twitter.
Share with the class.
Nah, I saw an MXC gift. I love MXC. It's a great show.
I don't know what MXC is.
MX, are you serious? It's like I want to say it's Japanese. I'm not sure, but it's like a game show, and Americans bought it and they dub it over with
Oh my God! It's like the obstacle course stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do love that. I never knew it was called MXC. I don't know what I thought it was called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Most extreme competition.
Yeah, I love watching that. They get smacked by some like rotating oar or something like that. And they got to like time the jump to get past it or whatever. And the thing comes and smacks.
I mean, I just like the comment. I don't even care about the actual.
The commentary is tremendous.
It's so funny, but
yeah, the commentary is tremendous. I don't know, man. It's at the end of the day, look, we're back from the international break on Saturday. Don't really have there's not really much else to cover at this point. The transfer thing and the way that we run the club, I hate that this is a dead horse and we beat it to death almost weekly. So Sam, I think we have good enough players coming through to do it. Some solid talents can be supported with some good players. We will likely need to rely more on the youngsters the next few seasons, and I'm all right with that. I'm all right because here's the other thing too. I think Arteta does better with younger players than he does with older players. I think the older players look at him and say, you haven't been out of the game long enough, nor have you been managing long enough to be able to come in here and tell me how to play. Whereas the younger players I remember watching you play. You know what I mean? Some of the older, like David Luiz, probably like not David Luiz per se, but some of these guys like, dude, I played against you. So
I don't even think it has to do with that. I think it's just of kind of what you were alluding to earlier, like before, just that the older you're not going to change how the older you're not going to change. Aubameyang is not going to all of a sudden be a hold up player,
right?
Right. You're not going to teach an old dog new tricks. Is that how that works?
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah. These younger guys, I don't think it has anything to do with Mikel's playing days. I think, if anything, these younger guys coming out of the academy or just younger guys coming to the club are going to be like, oh, like, you're a good manager, you're smart, you know what you're doing, because he's getting all these endorsements, from players, ex-players, people from Man City. So I think it'll slowly get passed around the water cooler, and people will start to be like, "Oh, like this guy's smart. He knows what he's doing. He knows that he's a good coach." And I think some players will just buy into that, and we could be able to make some decent signings, And I think he can elevate our young talent. He can elevate our young talent into making us contenders. I don't know if contenders for the league. I don't know about that with what we have, but if we can contend and make a run into Champions League or get out of the group stage in a Champions League, which to be fair, getting out of the group stage in Champions League, I don't think it's I'm not saying it's not hard, but there are some teams in the Champions League that aren't great. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's so I think it's just you get in, you get Champions League money, you get to where you want to be. You're gonna attract players. I feel like every day I'm reading an article or I'm seeing something where like, oh, this guy used to be an Arsenal, a fan of Arsenal. This guy was a supporter of Arsenal. I don't even remember who. Like I just read today, the striker for Colombia, Zapata. He's a huge Arsenal fan, and he wants to come play. And I think we could, us being so internationally known, I think could help us in achieving that. And I don't know if I would Greenwood. I don't know if Sam. I don't know. I don't think Balogun's going to be here. I hate to say it, but Hutchinson is someone I'm really high on. He's 18 though. He's going to take a little while, but he is someone I think he's probably going to be in the U23s next season, and he's going to play, and that's going to be make a break for him. But we have a lot of young players that I think are interesting. Someone like a I can't never pronounce his name, but he's so tiny. He's so lightweight. Ben Cottrell, like they're good. They're technically good players, but I'm nervous if they're gonna have if they're gonna have the speed and physicality for the Premier League. And I think that's something that we need to test. And we need to figure that out now, because if not, we got to figure out what we're gonna do with them.
They're young. I mean, they're still.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it for this year or even next year.
Next year, yeah.
There's
two years on, really. Well, at this point, say like a year away for a lot of these players. So, who's the kid McGinnis that's on loan? He's one that I think could come in next year and make his senior team debut. Not saying he's going to be a massive part of things, but he could make his debut at some point, I think, next year.
That's going to be so tough. We have so many center backs, and now we're talking about signing David Luiz. Saliba's got to come in the picture. I like Ballard over McGinnis, but I mean, to me, you pick your. I think they're both going to be good. So But how are they going to get game time? We have Gabriel, who not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, Holding might be going, but Holding, he's not playing poorly. Mari not playing poorly. David Luiz, we're talking about signing again. And even if he leaves, his spot should be taken by Saliba. So it's just such a difficult carousel to navigate, and people are going to have to leave. People that we necessarily don't want to leave, So I think it's just figuring out what we want to do going forward, what works, what doesn't work. And that's why I always say, Arsenal aren't the project. Arteta is the project. Arteta is everything with this club at this point. For me, I'm not saying it's Arteta FC, but you got to buy in, or you could be Arteta out. I'm not saying you have to support him, but he's gonna be here for a while. So if you want to be miserable and be Arteta out
he's going to be here for a while as long as he maintains the status quo.
As long as he'll get relegated, he's going to be here.
Yeah,
granted, if he has to be fair, if we have an amazing transfer window and we sign a bunch of players and we're making a run at the title and we don't even make Champions League, then maybe something's there. But I think Arsenal are really leaning on Arteta right now. He has the he doesn't have the resume coaching wise, but he was under Pep for a while. He knows what he's doing. People say he coached Man City, not Pep. So we just need to see what we have here in the players. I personally, I trust Arteta because I know he knows what he's doing. I think he needs experience, like with the substitutions.
Yeah.
And I think he needs experience being like a player manager. His player management skills aren't where I want them to be. But I think tactically and just his knowledge, he could get these kids ready to play. He can get these kids doing things that I don't want to say that they're not supposed to do, but doing things that I guess underdog things. Because if you take these kids, we're even with the kids, even with the ESRs, the Sakas, we're still not great. We're not where we want to be. So it's just something where you have to just establish culture, establish something here. And we did a good job getting rid of the Mustafis, the Ozils. I mean, I still think there's a few more. It's going to take time, though.
Yeah, I maintain that Arteta is better with. I just maintain that Arteta is better with younger players. I think he would get more. I think if you had a team with if you played mostly youth and you had a guy like Lacazette in there, I'm not even going to put Thomas Partey in there. I think that somebody like an Alex Lacazette, because he is more of a team player than say Aubameyang is. I think you would get better results with a younger team. Eventually, you would get better results with a younger team, and I mean like within a season. You probably have to go through some growing pains early on, but I think they would sort of gel together, mesh together, and if you had that one leader in the locker room, even a David Luiz, who could kind of help pull them through the rough times, I think the results would have been better this year if he would have just gone kind of mostly youth. So that's just me. I think these young kids are eager to buy into what he's coaching, what he's teaching them. The older players are, they are who they are, and you're just not gonna change their minds on that. So
I agree. I do think you need to sprinkle in some kind of talent like Partey you need in there. And to be fair, I think with these young kids, I think we need Lacazette. I know people don't want to hear it. People don't. Yep. But we play better with Lacazette than Aubameyang.
Yep. So, I get this. I get this argument of who's the guy you want on the pitch to score you one goal. Okay, that's great. Like if you need one goal, who's the guy you want on the pitch in this team? And it's Aubameyang. Well, how about this? How about I don't want to be in a position where I need one fucking goal? How about I don't want to be in that position? How about I want to be in a position where I'm bagging goals from, my front 4 or 5 players, be it Lacazette, Odegaard, or Emile Smith-Rowe, or Pepe, or, Bukayo Saka, or Gabriel Martinelli. I know that I'm just naming the players that play in those positions, not all of them on the field at the same time. But that's the idea. When people talk about Aubameyang, Aubameyang versus Lacazette, I mean, just look at the way the team plays. We've relied on Aubameyang for goals the last 2 years, and look where it's gotten us. What we need is to score goals as a team, not rely on that one guy. I don't want to rely on one guy to score all the goals. Because if that's what you're hoping for, I'd rather spread out 40 to 50 goals between 4 or 5 players than one guy get 25. I don't give a fuck about an Arsenal player winning the Golden Boot. Honestly, I don't care. I could not care less. That's an individual trophy. It's not a team trophy by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion. And I don't care. I just don't care. I'd rather Bernd Leno win the Golden Gloves. Golden Glove. I'd rather that. I'd rather him win the Golden Glove than Aubameyang win the Golden Boot. Just give me 40 or 50 goals between 4 or 5 players, than 25 with one and 2 or 3 with 3 or 4 other players. It doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up.
It definitely doesn't. I mean, to be fair, I think anyone in their right mind would rather have 40 goals over 25.
Ask some people.
They'd rather have 25 goals than 40 goals. 40 is bigger than 25.
They'd rather have 25 from one guy than 40 spread out between 4 players. Because their argument is,
I'd like
Ryan, their argument
to meet those people.
Their argument is this. Who's the guy you want when you need that one goal? Who's the guy you want on the pitch? And that's their argument against Lacazette.
No, I get that, but when you say, do you want 40 goals or do you want 25 goals? I don't. So you're gonna always say,
well, when
40.
you explain it to them and say, no, look, you're going to get 40 between 4 players, or one guy's going to get 25 because then what they say, no, one guy gets 25 and the other 3 get their 10. Well, okay, that's not what I asked. Because it's the Aubameyang fans who the dude can do no wrong. Like, doesn't matter that he was.
Go ahead, turn it off. Turn us off. Turn it off, Roman.
Yeah. I just it's just one of the, like, it's a team game, and I understand that you need that one guy out there that you can rely on. That when you need the goal, he's going to bang one in for you. But we don't have that player right now that can fit both. That can play the system that Arteta wants to play and be the guy that we can count on to get that goal. That's the thing. So Hastings, Pepe, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, ESR, front 5. Yeah, let's go. Why not? Let's play with 4 at the back and 6 at attack. Let's go. Ooh,
it's tough. I do think certain systems. I think we could like the whole party was our solo DM. I think that can work in certain games. I think people and again, it goes back to Sam kind of brought it up with the anything. Goes back to certain games require certain players. It's horses for courses, like I was talking to somebody on Twitter. Rowan has popped up into here. I didn't mean it, Rowan, I swear. No, but I think so. Elneny's a great example in the fact that he's and I was talking to somebody on Twitter about it. He's a perfect squad player. We're paying him peanuts. He'll die for the badge. He loves being here, and he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind being a squad player.
Wait, who? Oh, Elneny, yeah.
Elneny. He's just a release valve. Release valve. He's someone that is good at breaking pressure, breaking the lines. He's not going to pass forward a whole lot. I get that. He's they call him sideways, but he doesn't mess it up, and he's going to give you 100% every single game. So, again, Elneny's not playing for us week in, week out. He's probably not really playing for us at all, but he's definitely someone you could bring on, and he does a specific job really well. If a team's pressing a lot, he's someone you could bring on as a defensive midfielder. He does a job really well, and, he has the occasional screamer, which that doesn't hurt either.
Right.
So I think we need to find more. It's funny where we are. We don't need more Elnenys, but I think having more than one Elneny is beneficial to us in the long run, because you're not going to find 25 world-class players. You're not going to have you're not going to find players that are happy to be on the bench for us. When you sign players, everyone expects to play. And that's why I brought up earlier where ideally you want your academy to be the bench, because they're coming up. They're the team that's trying to unseat the starting 11. So really, we shouldn't really be signing squad players. Like, our squad players should already be here.
Yeah.
So to me, selling Elneny doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
But I mean, we could talk. I'm not today, but in another podcast, I'm sure we can go over, like squad building and who we should keep, who we should sell. What's a squad player and what's a player that maybe someone like an AMN who's not happy to be on the bench, who wants game time at his preferred position. Yeah. And I was a big. I mean, I know it's April's Fool's Day, but I'll talk about it. I'm someone who's a big AMN fan. I'm a big fan of his. I love his profile. I like what he brings to the team. But if he doesn't want to play where we want him to play, and if he wants game time, and if his attitude's gonna shut down every time he doesn't play, then see you later. We're gonna make a lot of rough decisions, and we're not done yet. There are going to be players that are just going to have to be needing to move on because we, as a club, can't. it's not like an NBA team where you have 10 players and they all, it's unlimited substitutions and everyone constantly gets worked in. It's not like that, so you only have 3 substitutions and you're in. There's no continuous substitution like that. So I just think that we need to just focus on figuring out, and it goes back to what we're talking about, how we're really bad in the transfer market. We need to just figure out like who we could sign and bring into this team and make an instant impact, and who's going to be our bench, because you're not going to sign big players from certain teams to be like, oh yeah, you're going to be a squad player. It's
right.
It's not going to happen, especially based on where we are as a club.
No. According to a lot of Arsenal fans, that should absolutely happen, because we're the Arsenal, and those players are going to want to come here and be content to sit on the bench and rot. So
I don't think anybody's rotting either, but yeah, I kind of get what you're saying though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask what you thought about the Aguero thing.
Nah, don't want him. Too old.
That's what everyone's. That's the talk of the town.
Nope, don't want him.
Aguero.
Nope.
Yeah, how can you not want him on a free? Sergio Aguero? What? I don't want him.
Nope.
I don't want him either. I mean, see, again, it's so tough. I don't want him, but if we were to, let's just say, in a world we lost Aubameyang and we lost Lacazette in summer,
I think you have to replace with younger.
Yes, you have to.
because Sergio Aguero, even on a free, will cost more money in his weekly wages than someone like, I'll just use it because he's another hot name on the lips of every Arsenal fan, but Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. He's younger, and I guarantee you, between the transfer fee and his weekly wages, he's probably still going to be cheaper than Sergio Aguero. And all we're doing is going and, okay, so we give Aubameyang the big contract, and I was one of the first guys that was celebrating when he signed it. I fully admit that. Buyer's remorse on my part. But look at Willian, look at David Luiz. The proof is already there with players that we've brought in over the age of 30 on free transfers. Well, David Luiz wasn't a free transfer, but you know what I mean. And it's just the only difference between Aguero and those players is the fact that Arteta knows him and coached him. So that's a positive in his favor. But we talk about money with this club all the time. Yet here we are, and so we complain about not spending money, but then you get the people who say, well, we haven't spent the money the right way. So go spend the money on a dude that's 32 years old and hasn't played a full season in the last 3 seasons combined, has not played 1 full season of games in the last 3 combined. Think about that. Think about what you're asking if you say, yes, I want Sergio Aguero in this team. To do what? What do you want him to do? You want him to iron shirts? Is that what you want him to do? Because he ain't going to play. I can tell you right now, he ain't going to play. He's going to cost a shit ton of money. That's that right there, that attitude. Go get Sergio Aguero. Why? Because Sergio Aguero was arguably the best striker in the world. Key word, operative word there being was. If we're going to go get Sergio Aguero, I'm going to give you another name and go get this guy, Thierry Henry. Go get him. Same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. And tell me that, and I dare somebody to tell me Thierry Henry's too old. I dare you to tell me he's too old. I promise you he could still score. I promise you that. That dude's fit as a fiddle. Not saying he can run as fast as what he used to, but that dude can still score. So go get him. So go hand him his 14 back, and let's if that's what we're gonna do, go get him. This Sergio Aguero business. Sorry, I'm going off at the very end of the show now.
I like it. No,
this Sergio Aguero, this drives me nuts. This absolutely drives me nuts. Oh, we constantly spend money on the wrong players, and then you want to go do that. We're constantly bringing in somebody else's reject. It's not a reject. I'm not gonna call him that. Willian wasn't a Chelsea reject.
But the thing is, people see free and they think he's like that's what I don't get. People see but it's not a free. And to everyone saying, oh, he's been hurt. He's been healthy the last few months. He's not been injured. He does not play. Pep does not want him to play. I trust Pep's judgment. And on top of that, when he started coming back, because he did have a back injury early on in the season. He started coming back. He was terrible. He couldn't find form. He's been awful. Now he can't even get a sniff. He's lucky he's on the bench.
If Sergio Aguero said he wanted to play for Mikel Arteta, he would do so on 100,000 pounds a week and no signing bonus. And he was content to be a super sub. 100%. I'd sign me up. Sign me up.
I would. I mean, if we lose Aubameyang and Lacazette, I think he'd have to be our starting striker. I mean, I think Craig said it in the comments. I think Martinelli, we're trying to get him to be our new striker, but he's not there yet.
Yeah.
He's somebody that's not right now. Think about right now. Martinelli's not someone that's gonna get us top 4, get us maybe past a few knockout stages. I don't know. And maybe he can, but he can't even get time on the left wing, or he can't get time. Period. So it's tough because again, and me and Stan have both said this. I want to start from scratch. I want to bet in Balogun. I want to get him situated. I want to get Martinelli situated and kind of struggle to score, but get this guy game time, get them minutes, because I see the potential. But I don't know. I'm starting to think it's too late because we're kind of far into this. And if we end up losing Lacazette and Aubameyang, I don't think going young is the answer right away. I mean, you could make a play for Hudson Edouard. I don't know if I said that right, but sometimes you and it's difficult because you always pick the wrong savvy vet, as they say. We go for the Liechtensteiners, the Luises, and the Williams. I don't think I classify Aguero in that category, but he's injury prone. He's not playing well in Man City, but I do, like you said, there is a way he gets into this team on not many wages, us getting rid of Lacazette and Aubameyang, and he's happy with maybe not being because there's a chance Martinelli unseats him. So I don't think it's really a topic of getting deep into it because I don't see him ever taking minimum, not necessarily minimum wage, about, taking a big pay cut. I don't see him, and that's just not the club we are either. So it's,
that's the other thing. He's going to have to take the pay. He would have to take a pay cut to come here. Like, understand that he would have to take a pay cut to come here.
We're not in the business of taking pay cuts. So
and Sergio Aguero is not going to take a pay cut at 32 years old when he feels like he could probably still bring it. Go to the U.S., man. Go to the, come over here, make a boatload of money over here playing for an MLS club.
I don't think he's that far gone yet.
I'm just saying, come over here, make some money. Go play for Inter Miami
with Kieran Gibbs.
Yeah, go play for Inter Miami. Just do that. So
I think he could be on a good Champions League team. I do, and he can do really well, really good things. But is it? I mean, we're not in the position to take a risk for that right now because
too much. That's a good way to put it. Risk.
If we want to take a risk, okay, cool. We're going to pay you peanuts because we're rebuilding. We're not gonna you're free. We get it, haha. But we're not spending all this money on you to pay you a salary when we don't even know if you could. The last 2 seasons you haven't played a full season, so it's just, to me it's I don't want to say it's a stupid conversation to have, but it's
stupid conversation to have.
It is because
I'll say
it is only because of where we want to go, where we're going, and Aguero, to me, it obviously are two different players and two different things. But if buying Aguero, if we bought Aguero this summer, to me it would be similar to when we bought Lucas Perez.
Yeah,
where we needed a striker, we need a goal scorer. We panicked, and a couple days before the deadline, or it might have been deadline, I don't even know, we bought Lucas Perez. And to be fair, I actually thought he was actually better than I thought he was going to be. But we didn't Wenger didn't like him, and we soon loaned him out and sold him. So it's picking your battles and knowing what we have in the academy and knowing what we could do. And I think Arteta sees that. And that's why we see in the news, and you see that Martinelli is doing shooting training. It was his choice. He went to do it. It wasn't mandatory. He's he's being like I said, Sam, they're two different players, but it's a similar situation. But God damn it, Sam, you threw me off my. I don't even know what I was saying. God damn it, Sam, used to me every time. No, but yeah, but to say it's kind of Lucas Perez is not the same as Aguero. I get it, but again, it's Aguero is not gonna bring us to where we want to be. He's just gonna keep the status quo, which is what we've been doing.
If Aguero were brought in here to be the guy, to be the main guy, to lead the line, I think it's stunting the growth of this football club. I just don't think we're growing with someone his age, his injury history, his wage demands. I just don't see it. I just don't see him.
When you build a garden, you want the garden to grow together.
Yeah,
buying Aguero is like taking a beach, or I don't know, like a 12-foot rose.
What it is it's going out and it's buying the tomatoes when you don't have the onion and the lettuce grown yet, but you go to the store and you just buy the tomatoes. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's just in your reference, that's what it would be. You're growing the lettuce and the onions for your cheeseburger, but then you just go before they're ripe enough to pick. You go to the grocery store and you just buy the tomatoes instead of growing them too.
It's just I hate to say it, just to a lot of these fans, it just sucks because we took so long to finally start the rebuild, but it takes time. This rebuild is going to take us a while, and us buying Aguero is us trying to take a shortcut. We took shortcuts. Since the hybrid, all we've done was take shortcuts. Where has that gotten us? To all you Arteta people, 10th place.
Yep.
Doing we went 22 games beaten with Unai Emery. We've talked about that at length. We were not playing good football then. We were just narrowly escaping,
getting lucky.
We were getting by. So
and more draws than wins, by the way.
Yeah, but it's just this. It's going to take time. We need it. We need a new philosophy in the club. We need a new culture in the club. I don't, hearing the stories of our team fighting in the dressing room and Koscielny, our captain at the time, crying. He could go, and apparently, I also heard that his kids would make fun of him. His kids would make fun of Arsenal, and it would make him upset. He'd cry. Wow. That was our captain at the time. So go figure, some captain. But yeah, I just think we just need to grow together, and there's just some things you can't
that's a real good way to put it. Grow together. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're at about an hour and 15 minutes. This is good stuff. I like this show. I like the format of it. I think we got a good thing going here. We'll be doing it hopefully every Thursday. So next week we will not be doing this on Thursday. I'll have to figure out if I want to do it Wednesday or if I want to do it Friday. So right now I'm leaning more towards Friday than I am Wednesday. So just be aware of that. We will not do Beards and Cannons on Europa League days. So next Thursday we'll be off the air, but we will be back on the air Saturday for the Arsenal tailgate, an hour and a half before kickoff against Liverpool, then back straight away after. Actually, no, we are going to go an hour after final whistle. We will go Arsenal Aftermath an hour after final whistle. So you will have a full day of Arsenal on Saturday with pregame, game itself, postgame, all that good stuff. So we will go an hour postgame, an hour after final whistle for Arsenal Aftermath, the postgame show. So same old Arsenal USA will be back next Tuesday at the same time as usual. And I would be remiss if we did not mention Claude from Claude and the Vances here, formerly of AFTV. I never had the opportunity to meet Claude. Well, I shouldn't say I never had the opportunity. I actually did. I've been there and I've seen him. And look, for all of the things that I would hear people say about Claude, or I would hear, kind of through the grapevine that people were saying this about him. Look, every time I ever watched anything that he did, I didn't always agree with him. I don't agree with everybody. I don't agree with everybody all the time, and that's all right. but the abuse that dude took was just, there's just no place for this anymore. We all support the same team, and maybe we have differing opinions on how we want the club to get back to where they should be. But at the end of the day, we all support the same club, and we should all be on the same page in terms of, do you love the club? Yes. Okay, then you're all right with me. We can disagree about things. I saw more people from rival clubs actually, saying nice things about Claude than I saw Arsenal supporters on, I guess it was Tuesday. So have a word with yourselves if that's the way you think. It's just no way to go through life being angry, looking for things to be angry about, bullying people. It's just, Ryan, I don't know if you have anything to add on here, but
no. I mean, I've had the chance to talk to him. I've podcasted with him before.
Yeah.
Great dude. Very passionate fan.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes when you're very passionate about a club, when you talk to someone else who's very passionate about a club, you get into, your yelling matches and sometimes things go overboard. I get it. But that really wasn't the case here. It's just someone who's very passionate. He said what he said, and people just didn't like it. Even if people thought it was wrong, they just felt the need to attack. And that's just how people are, especially, nowadays with social media. You can hide behind stuff. And
yeah.
It's a shame. It's not harder to get accounts. Right. It's not hard to get accounts, and it's tough reading some of the stuff I read, not even about Claude, just about other people in general. But I mean, he took a lot of it. He took a lot of abuse and unnecessarily, and he was a good dude. Always good with me, always good to me. He always called me Ryan number 2 because Mr. Arsenal. But I'll take it. I'll take it, Claude.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and nothing but positive vibes and prayers for his family and friends, and just be nice to each other. I mean, that's it. We could all have fun, disagree, and all that. It's fine. I don't agree with everything certain people say, but it's just finding that medium, and and Lone Star could not have hit that any more better on the head. You don't know what people are going through, and you don't know, certain people are more sensitive than other people. So it's just, we're here to talk about the football club that we love.
Yeah.
And it's a passion of ours, and I'm thankful every day that I get to do it. Whether it's to 2 people, 20 people, hopefully 20,000 people soon. But it's just fun to do, and I know we get fired up, and
I mean, how many times have you and I gone at it over the Granite Xhaka thing? I mean, there you go. There's something
you're really going to do that right now.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
You get the point, though. I mean, that's a perfect example of 2 guys who could not have probably. I wouldn't necessarily say that we're polar opposites on our Granite Xhaka views, but I just have a thought on it that Ryan just says, no, I don't care. That doesn't matter to me, and I disagree with him, and he disagrees with me. But you know what? Here we are. We're good friends, and we do this show, and we do the shows together that we do, and it just doesn't look, folks. Life doesn't have to be as difficult as what a lot of people on social media want to make it. It's that simple. If you are kind to others, kindness will find you. And going through life looking for something to be angry at, you want to cancel something, you're going back through someone's Twitter history to find something that they said 8 years ago when they're applying for a job or something. Say, see, look what they said. Hey, get out of here. Nobody is perfect. I will be the last person in the world to throw stones because I am one of the most flawed people that I've ever met. And I know that. I accept it. It is what it is for me. I try to be kind and nice and understanding and empathetic to others because I want that in return. I'm going through a little Greg Ramjohn showing up late to the party. Right as we're about to walk out the door, he's going to buy us a shot. Perfect.
He's a slippery sloth. He was here.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's like
Oh, Greg, I didn't realize you were a slippery sloth, man. By the way, thanks for the subscription. He is a
slippery sloth.
But I know, you know what? Like I said, I'm going through something right now. It's not really me, but kind of on the periphery. I'm going through something myself right now, and certain things may just hit me the wrong way right now because I got a lot on my plate, and like Lone Star said, you just never know what others are going through. So just be nice. There's no reason, even if you disagree. And look, I'll say this about disagreement: nothing was ever accomplished by a room full of yes men. It's that simple. Nothing was ever accomplished with a room full in a room full of yes men. Disagreement is good. It breeds creativity, but it doesn't have to get nasty. It doesn't have to. We don't need to cut people off the knees to make ourselves seem taller, anything like that. So I just for Claude and his family, my prayers, my condolences. I regret not ever taking the chance to speak with him from a lot of the things that I've heard and read, obviously things that Ryan just said about podcasting with him. So, Claude, I hope you're watching up there, man. And I hope we're doing a good job for you. I'm not sure if you ever tuned into the show or not, or ever heard anything I did, but I do hope you're watching down on us right now and taking in the show and we're doing you proud. So, yeah. RIP to Claude and just be nice. Be nice. That's all I got. Ryan, you want to add anything else real quick?
No, I mean, other than just, the thing that I don't understand is if you don't like something, don't watch it. If you don't agree with something, don't watch. And then, it's just, I feel like people want something to yell at. So they watch something that they don't like, that they don't agree with, and it becomes the whole thing. It's like, if you're not a fan and you don't like the person,
don't watch. Don't watch.
It's cool. That's it. I think that's just the weirdest thing to me. I think that's the thing that I'll probably never get over. If I don't like it, I'm just not gonna watch.
I don't like NBA basketball anymore, so I don't watch. It's that simple. I don't like NBA basketball, so I don't watch it. Period. That's it.
I was gonna make a joke about baseball, but I don't. I'm afraid if there's like a booby trap that I'll get set off.
Oh yeah. I mean, for you, yeah.
I might get in
probably
trouble.
Has cameras and microphones hidden where you don't know.
Yeah.
Where's your shit pillow? There's probably like nanny cam in there or something.
I should probably check it for.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Guys, that's it. I will say just real quick on this bullying and abuse. We could tie racism in with all of that. Eventually, I'm going to be doing a show on these things just to get some things off my chest and have a discussion that is pretty uncomfortable for a lot of people to have. But we need to have it, and hopefully, it gets us somewhere. So, but I do feel like we need to. I feel like I need to have that conversation with a few people. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when. It's still in the works. We'll figure all that out, and I'll be sure to announce it later. So that's it. We are going to get out of here. It's about that time. So good footy talk. We'll see you out there.